Hi everyone, it's Koinzell here. So today we're going to talk about the top 10 mistakes to avoid in Serenitea Pot. Sorry, top 11 mistakes. So I'm just going to quickly run through how the Serenitea Pot works. Just a very quick one. So you have something called Trust Rank, as well as the Adeptal Energy. So Trust Rank is pretty straightforward. The only way to increase your trust is really via creating new furnishings for the first time. You only get trust when you create the furnishing for the first time. Now, Adeptal Energy, there are different levels here. These are the levels as well as their energy accumulation rate. So by placing furnishings, you get Adeptal Energy. So create furnishings for the first time to get trust. Place furnishings to get Adeptal Energy. It's pretty straightforward. Let's go straight into the list of mistakes to avoid, the 11 mistakes. So the very first one is actually very straightforward. Make sure that you don't miss out on the 5 Vials of Adeptal Speed that refreshes every day. This refreshes every day, so you should definitely buy all 5 each day, because this is the only way for you to quickly pump up your trust rank as well as your Adeptal Energy, because you really need this to optimize your construction of the furnishing. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about is the second mistake to avoid is don't save your Vials of Adeptal Energy until you hit Adeptal Energy 6000, which is the elegant level. Why? Because you need, if you look at the rates, you notice that for the first 5 levels, it's increasing at 4 per hour, the realm currency accumulation rate. So after that, there is a diminishing returns, in which it's actually 2 per hour from 8000 Adeptal Energy onwards. So in other words, you should strive to hit 6000 energy ASAP via spamming your Vials, so that you will get 20 realm currency per hour. That's where you can then take a breather, optimize your placements, etc., which we'll talk about in more detail later. Okay, so that's the second mistake to avoid. Make sure that you don't save your Vials. Make sure you use your Vials, all your Vials, until you get 6000 energy level. Okay, third mistake to avoid. Make sure that you set your Serenitea Pot permissions to allow direct join, because by allowing direct join, you actually don't need to be online for people to visit your Serenitea Pot. And the Serenitea Pot permissions are separate from the world permissions. There's 2 different types of permissions. So if you are someone who prefer to approve before somebody joins your world, you can still keep that option. But Serenitea Pot permissions, remember to allow direct join, so that people can join and help you out with guest assistance. Okay, and of course, basic courtesy, if somebody helps you, remember to join their game and help them out as well. Alright. Okay, so that was the third mistake. Let's talk about the fourth mistake to avoid. Fourth mistake to avoid basically is bear in mind that the structures, where possible in the initial stage, do not do not build repeated structures. You should reuse whatever you can, especially when you want to try to form set items. So I'll give you an example here. Personally, what happened was I did not know how to take back the items. I mean, this is a mistake I personally committed. I did not know how to take back the items, and so I created 2 of these items while I already have the full set here. You know what I mean? I did not reuse my structures. You should reuse your structures where possible. Take them back when you can. Because for the controller, right, it's actually very unintuitive. It's not intuitive at all. If you don't press the collect button, if you see where on the left left hand side of the screen, right above the courtyard, there's actually a collapse button. You have to press the collapse button in order to select items and then be able to take them back. Okay, so I tried it on mobile. It's a lot more intuitive. You just click the item and you'll be able to do it. I believe for PC, mouse, and keyboard it should be the same. It's only the controller that is really not intuitive, so I committed that mistake. So make sure you do that. Make sure you don't commit the mistake of building extra structures for the set. Just reuse whatever you have placed and built for the set. Okay. Now let's talk about the fifth mistake to avoid. Now the fifth mistake to avoid, personally what happened for me was that what happened for me was that I placed my structures all around the map in a very spread manner, and this resulted in further down the road, when you have to optimize your space, because the space here is limited, right? There are so many items to put, the space here is limited. So that's why you should try to squeeze or compress whatever you're trying to put together as part of a team, so that you don't need to reorganize them. I actually spent, I think close to an hour to reorganize my placements, especially this portion here. And so that's the fifth mistake I want to talk about, which is don't put your furnishings all over the place. Try to set them to a theme, optimize and compress them to specific areas, so that it's going to be very easy for you to expand your furnishings in future, especially when you get more and more landforms, different type of furnishings, etc. Okay, so that was the fifth mistake. Now let's talk about the sixth mistake to avoid. Sixth mistake is for the landforms, especially these landforms here, where if you click them and you don't look at the top corner, it says that they can be placed right under the item name. There's a description that says that they can be placed side by side and can be stacked vertically. So you should definitely make good use of this, because it really helps to save your space. You see, you can combine them to save your space, or you can extend it out, depends on your preference. So previously I was doing this. If I want to make it more compact, we can do something like this, right? Or if I need more space to put stuff, I can extend it out as well. So it's really important to make good use of this feature of these boulders, these landforms. And by doing that, you can even create a space large enough that you can put additional furnishings on top of these platforms, and that's exactly what you see. What I did here. There's animals here. There's a crane here. There's a tea set here. Some fruit stores, even a cabin, some trees. So these landforms are actually very good in terms of optimizing and compressing and making it such that you really make good use of the limited space that you have. Okay, so I hope this is something that is helpful to you guys. Make sure you follow this. Okay, of course, it's player's choice how you want to set your how you want to set your landforms. But for me personally, this is just the aesthetic I'm going with. You can stack this all the way even higher. You can also stack your mansion on the landforms, so that your mansion is like the tallest spot in your teapot, which is probably what I'm gonna do next, because I really don't want to move all of these again. I already spent quite some time moving them and organizing them. Alright, so that was the sixth mistake to avoid, which is to make sure that you make good use of your landforms. Now, the seventh mistake I want to talk about is about placing structures before you get a set item. I want to say this because people may think that prioritizing the set item is important. While the set gives you a While the set gives you a good aesthetic feel, since they help you create a team and they do entire they make it very easy for you to move things around as well. Because if you notice, you can even select a set and move it around as you wish. So let me see. Okay, so you can click this and then click the select entire set, and you can move the set around as you wish. So this is really good feature. But the thing about furnishing set is that they don't actually give you any bonus points. While it may look good here, showing you a 360 points, this 360 adapter energy is actually the sum total from these furnishings. You do not get any additional bonuses from the set at all. It's a bit weird that they are not doing that. I was a bit surprised by that too. But essentially what this means is that set is really just for aesthetic. It doesn't give you any bonus adapter energy. So you don't really need to go for set if you don't wish to. Or let's say if you have some spare items like what I have here, where I have 2 additional pieces from this set. You don't need, I already have these 2 that's placed right beside my eatery. You don't really need to build these 2 to create the set again, because like I said, they don't give you any bonus points. So yeah, don't commit the mistake of over committing to set items. Until MiHoYo updates it to give set bonuses, there's really no need to do set. Okay. Now, this brings me to the next point, where higher grade furnish, whether you should spam higher grade furnishings or go for set items. While there is a limit to the space that you can build, there's also a limit to the amount of furnishings that you can build. You see in the top right corner, there's something called load. The load refers to the amount of furnishing that you can put within a set space. Right now I'm already at yellow. In fact, I'm very near to red. Once you hit red, and I remember being able to put 2 furnishings when I hit red. After that, you will get a message telling you that you can't put any more furnishings because you already reached the max number. Okay, so that is why it may be good to spend the higher grade materials. It may be good to spend the higher grade materials if you are looking to optimize. But what this also means is that the aesthetic of the place will look very ugly. Because can you imagine if I created a whole bunch of, say, Adeptal gates and stone lions and place it all over my realm, and that's the only thing that you see on the teapot. Aesthetically, it's just not good. Although, if you ask me in terms of efficiency and functionality, it's actually the best, because crafting these higher grade items gives you 90 adapter energy, compared to, say, the blue grade item that only gives you 60. The green only gives 30. So yeah, depends on how you view it. Personally, I am going more for aesthetics, but you can definitely go for a full optimized furnishing in terms of your adapter energy to get all these purple grade items. Just build the purple grade items that you have. That's also a viable option. Player's choice. I personally am going more for aesthetics. Yep. So that is the 8th mistake that we have been talking about. Now let's talk about realm currency. How best to optimize your realm currency. The next 3 mistakes are with regards to the realm currency. So number 1 is, while you are trying to build while you're going through and increasing your trust rank, you notice that there are realm currencies. There are specific blueprints that will be required in the set that you receive from the handbooks. If I go inside my mansion itself, you'll see these are the set items. So take for example, right, there are specific set items where they require you to buy the furnishing blueprints from the realm depot, from the Tabi. Example would be this item here. You don't receive it for free. At least I have not received it thus far. This as well, Receiver Round Table. red pine wood round stool. So these two are definitely blueprints that you should buy if you are looking to complete a set. Likewise for the well-equipped study. Yeah, so this well-equipped study is the one that has the most number of items that you need from the Realm Depot. So you have the Economy Cuihua Bookshelf, you have the Archivist Treasure Trove, Favonius Office Table, Scholar's Readiness, Exquisite Hourglass Ornament, Clear Blue Afternoon. Essentially, all of these require you to buy from the Realm Depot. I can't remember if I bought these from Realm Depot or was it given as part of the handbook rewards. But essentially, you see here that these are the items that you should be spending your Realm currency on in terms of getting blueprints, so that you can create a set. Of course, that what I'm saying here is very depend on the fact that you are going for aesthetics, proper kind of look, rather than efficiency. If you want to go all out efficiency, you should only buy purple grade blueprints and spam them. That's the best efficiency you can get, but aesthetically, like I said, it doesn't look good. Okay, now let's look at the... At the start of this video, I mentioned that some of these mistakes are the ones that I've committed, and these are the ones that I want to share with you guys to avoid. I can show you guys what are the mistakes that I've made with regards to the Realm currency. What I did was, to me, I feel like those were wrong purchases, and this is the reason why. You'll see here that I bought 4 of these outdoor items, but it's not so bad because these two can be placed indoors, so it's not bad. This is completely outdoor. So the problem about spending around currency on random items is that you can't complete your set. You see here, I only managed to buy 2 items required for the set. The amount of currency I've spent here could have allowed me to buy 2 more of the blue grade blueprints that is needed for the set item earlier that you saw. So that is one thing to take note if you are looking to prioritize on sets rather than efficiency. Then you should spend your Realm currency accordingly on those items. Okay. Now let's talk about the 10th mistake to avoid. The 10th mistake to avoid is regards to the traveling teapot salesman, the one that appears from Friday to Sunday on your own Serenitea Pot world, as you can see here, as well as the one where you can visit your friends. It's actually the same teapot salesman, it's just that you can only visit your friend's Serenitea Pot with the traveling salesman available for you to access starting from Saturday to Sunday. So you should definitely save a bit of your Realm currency on Friday and Saturday so that you can buy items from your friend's Serenitea Pot. Number 1 is to clear the handbook requests. Number 2 is also because it is actually part of the weekly mission on the Battle Pass, purchasing 2 items. So as far as I can tell, for the traveling salesman, they seem to always sell 2 animals and 2 animals and 2 or 3 boulders, which are the ones where I say it's very good that you can merge them. So those are the places you get them, other than it being given to you from as part of the handbook rewards. So you see here, there's animals that you can buy, 2 of it, as well as the different type of boulders where they can be stacked and merged. Now the thing to note is that all of these are furnishings, they are not blueprints, which means that when you spend your Realm currency on these, you don't get to increase your trust rank. But one thing to note is that the animals that you can buy from the traveling depot salesman, they give 100% heal on the Adeptal energy. In other words, by spending 100 realm currency on, say, a forest ball like this, or a azure crane, you get 100 adapter energy. So it's actually very good in terms of the yield. If you buy a boulder like this, 40 realm currency, this boulder only gives you 20 adapter energy. So you see the difference? So animals actually aren't too bad. Not to mention that they can move around in your Serenitea Pot realm, and it's just nicer to have some life in the realm itself. But it really depends on what you want to optimize. Do you want to optimize your rank, trust rank, or do you want to optimize your adapter energy? It's actually a very good option to increase your adapter energy, but it doesn't do anything for trust. So it really depends on what you want to do and how you want to manage your realm currency. I'm providing this tip here. The animals give you 100 adapter energy. It's 1-for-1 for your realm currency spent. Okay, so now let's talk about the very last mistake. The very last mistake to avoid will be in terms of your buying your blueprints. In fact, I covered it as part of this the previous mistake. You should optimize your purchases by buying blueprints instead of furnishings where possible, so that you can increase your trust rank. In particular, do not buy the furnishings from this realm depot. It's an absolute waste of your realm currency, because all these items don't give you a high adapter energy as opposed to the animals that you can get from the traveling salesman, and they don't give you trust rank as well. Even for the blueprints, you have to buy the correct ones. Buy the one that either works for the set, or at the very least, buy those that can be placed indoor. Why do I say this? It's because the rewards that you get from the handbook, Serenitea Pot handbook, it actually gives a lot of outdoor items, outdoor furnishings. From this handbook, all the rewards that you get, it actually gives you a lot of outdoor furnishings. You see here all the different type of landforms that we can get. Not to mention the previous books. If you look at this, it's all landforms. It's either trees or rocks or boulders. And this is going to accumulate and count towards your load. That's why my load is already yellow here. In fact, I have a few items that I actually removed. I was already full. I removed them so that I can put higher grade items, while my higher grade items are still building. Because anyway, I'm not at the threshold of hitting the 8,000 yet, so it doesn't matter if I take them out. So the one thing to note is that when you buy blueprints, make sure how you spend your realm currency is that you should buy blueprints over furnishings, and prioritize on the interior items, the items that you can put in the mansion. That's why I say it's a good idea to focus on the set items in the interior and buy those specific blueprints like the Exquisite, I can't remember the name, the Scholar's Wariness, the Favonius Office Table, things like that. Okay, so I myself regretted that I spent those realm currency on the outdoor structures that do not help. I also made the mistake of buying furnishings directly. This is actually obtained from the furnishings from the realm depot. So that's another regret on my end, but well, it's already done, so that's why I've just placed it. So the best, if you want to go for full efficiency, really, you can just build a whole bunch of these statues and place it over the realm, or you can build a whole bunch of the pine doors, anything that is really purple grade. Okay, but I myself, I prefer having a full aesthetic like this, where we can have different type of tips here. So yeah, and optimized with the furnishings. So I hope this video has been helpful to you guys. It's a bit long. After all, there are 11 mistakes that I had to run through to avoid. So yeah. Alright, thanks everyone for watching, and thank you for your patience, and I'll see you guys next video. Right, if you like the content, remember to like and subscribe the video for more. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye.